The White House says it is working to make it easier for consumers to cancel their subscriptions, whether it's for your cable TV or a gym membership. The Federal Trade Commission is expected to finalize a proposal known as Click to Cancel as early as today. And CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now. Ed, I think a lot of us are welcoming this policy change. What are some examples of things the Biden administration plans to cover with its new initiative?
Plans to try to do and hopes will withstand legal challenges is what this is, Tom. It's called the Time is Money initiative. And the idea is basically to try to make life a little easier for consumers when it comes to canceling subscriptions, for example, as we see here on screen. Easier to cancel subscriptions and memberships. The arguing being, if you can subscribe to something, a gym membership, a newspaper, an email newsletter in one click, you should be able to cancel that subscription just as easily. You should be able to, for example, submit your health records faster and online instead of having to fax in paperwork or make phone calls. They also want to address things like the idea that when you call a 1-800 number to try to speak with a human being, you don't get stuck in the doom loop, as they call it, of hitting different buttons that lead to other automated messages, and eventually maybe after a few minutes you get to a human being, only after waiting so long. And even things like the education department talking to school districts about making it easier for parents and teachers to talk to each other and for parents to submit paperwork. I can tell you, as the school year is approaching, the joke in my neighborhood is you got like 5 apps to deal with 3 different things, and ultimately email with the teacher is the easiest thing. And so they're trying to essentially remove a lot of the trouble it takes to either renew, cancel, and communicate with various entities that you may do business with or have to seek services from.
So many of us fall into that trap of signing up for a new subscription or a trial run only to forget that we ever signed up, and then you're charged and charged and charged. This has been a headache for so long, though, Ed. Why make this announcement now?
Because there's 86 days until the election, and the economy remains a top concern. And so what is the Biden administration trying to do but to help make Vice President Harris look like she's doing something to cut costs and make life easier for American consumers? And so that's part of what's going on here. This is all proposals from agencies, some of which can act on their own, others that are going to have to work through the various regulatory processes. And so by just announcing today that they're looking into this and trying to address these issues, unclear if they'll get them done before the end of the Biden administration, but at least it looks like the White House is trying to do something. And this is in line with some of the changes that have been made, for example, by the Transportation Department in the last year or so when it comes to if your flights get canceled and making sure that parents can sit together with their kids. You know, all sort of basic things that people run into when they're spending money or seeking services. But the timing on this one comes a few days ahead of the president and vice president appearing together for the first time since he announced he's not running again and she's going to be the Democratic nominee. And ahead of what we anticipate in the coming days will be some kind of an announcement from the vice president about what she would do to address economic concerns were she to win the White House outright herself. So, you know, it's a reminder, too, Tom. This sounds practical. This sounds sensical and easy. It's being done by federal agencies on their own without Congress's help, but it's ultimately modest stuff, and it's all designed to make it look like the White House is doing things to address domestic concerns while also dealing with some foreign policy issues and the clock ticking down on the Biden presidency.
Yeah, we'll just have to see if it actually works. Exactly. I will be watching. Ed O'Keefe, thank you so much.